Hi everyone! Today, we're going to make a stylish leather clipboard. Here's what you'll need. 2 pieces of leather for the front and back, and a sturdy reinforcement material for the inside. I'm using thick hardboard. A clip for the clipboard, along with grommets and rivets. The first step is to create the pattern. Start by preparing a letter size or A4 sheet of paper to use for the clipboard. For the reinforcement pattern, make it about 5 millimeters larger than the prepared paper. However, for the top section where the clip will be attached, extend it by 15 millimeters. Next, create another pattern that is about 3 millimeters larger than the reinforcement pattern. Don't forget to mark the position where the clip will be placed. To make this step easier, I've prepared an illustrated guide. If anything feels unclear, refer to it for better understanding. Once the pattern is ready, cut the front and back leather slightly larger than the reinforcement piece. For bonding leather to leather, I prefer using water-based glue because it doesn't have a strong smell. However, when bonding materials like paper or fabric to leather, I use yellow contact cement, specifically Barge contact cement. It has a strong odor but provides excellent adhesion and dries quickly. Since it hardens fast over time, I don't buy it in large containers. Instead, I prefer purchasing it in smaller sizes for convenience. After securely attaching the reinforcement to the leather, work on the edges of the reinforcement with a bone folder. At this point, it's important to shape it nicely, as this will greatly affect the final result when it's completed. Remember, a well-shaped edge will make the finished product look much more polished and professional. Take your time with this step, as it's crucial for achieving a high-quality outcome. The extra effort you put in now will definitely show in the end. After completing the reinforcement work, I performed an initial cutting. Then I carefully marked the clip positions. Before attaching the front and back leather pieces, I performed the logo engraving. It's important to be careful when working on the logo because if it's not centered properly, the finished product will look less polished. I usually use an erasable pen to mark the position of the logo on the work surface. Even though it's called an erasable pen, it may leave marks on certain types of leather, so always test it on a scrap piece before using it on your actual project. The most important step after bonding is to create guidelines before cutting. To create guidelines, you can either use a separate device or work with line tape. I used line tape because it's easily visible at a glance. Then, make sure to cut along these tape lines as your guide. After that, please do the cutting. Once the cutting is complete, use a creaser to add decorative lines. Now, before starting the stitching, we'll punch the holes. For neat and even stitching, it's not just about how you sew. Proper hole punching is a crucial preparation step. No matter how carefully you stitch, if the holes aren't aligned correctly, the stitching will look crooked. And when punching holes, please work with 3 or 4 holes overlapped instead of working with only 1 hole overlapped. When you overlap 3 or 4 holes while punching, it provides better alignment and ensures the stitching flows smoothly. This technique helps maintain consistent spacing and reduces the chance of the holes looking uneven, which can affect the final appearance of your project. After punching the holes, proceed with the stitching. Once you've finished stitching, press down on the stitched areas as shown in the video. This step is essential for tidying up any stretched areas around the punched holes that may have occurred during stitching. It not only evens out the surface, but also gives your project a cleaner and more polished look. Taking a moment to do this will make a noticeable difference in the final appearance of your work. Some of the details have faded during the process, so I'm going to touch them up to make them crisp and clear again. Focusing on these small details really makes the whole piece stand out. Now it's time to add the decorative rivets. When punching the holes for the rivets, make sure to use a hole punch that's not too large for the size of the rivet post. Also, it's crucial to select the appropriate length for the rivet post. Now, we finally just need to do the sanding and edge coating, and then we can finish it up.